All right, so y'all, I think I know how Gus is feeling. It's always awkward when you go someplace and you know that somebody didn't actually want you there. So I think he's afraid of like being invited to the party just because Amelia like convinces Clarissa to invite him, but he knows he won't really like be welcome there and he won't necessarily be accepted by Clarissa's friends. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. We follow the road to Parkview. The path is dotted with garbage. I never noticed how dirty it is over here, I say. Weeds are overgrown. There are a few soda cans and candy wrappers littered about, and graffiti sharing messages of my one true love. It's like the sanitation department gave up after Mean Street and just went home for the night, Gus responds. Tourists aren't going to come here. Maybe people will decide to clean up after your tourism guide. The track curves around two parts of town like it's telling two stories, one with mostly red brick buildings, little shops, and monthly festivals, and the other a place where messages of love are mixed with garbage. We're both silent for a bit as we walk deeper into Parkview. Two kids play in the swings at a playground surrounded by trees. Somebody who might be their grandpa takes turns swinging each kid. Hi, Mr. Jackson. Gus waves. Mr. Jackson turns around and takes a moment before recognizing Gus. Oh, hello there, young man. Mr. Jackson waves and quickly gets back to pushing the girl who's swinging towards him at that moment. Mr. Jackson takes his granddaughters to the park every afternoon, Gus says. They live in that house right over there. Gus gestures like a tour guide when he tells me what he knows of Mr. Jackson's story. His wife passed away last year, he continues. He moved in with his daughter and son-in-law, and when they're at work, he watches over his granddaughters. He seems happy. He is, Gus says. But his knees aren't so great anymore, and walking his grandkids to Parkview Elementary is a trek for him. Everyone thinks it's too far, but he's stubborn, like my abuela. Yeah, kind of, I guess. Anyway, it'll be way closer for him to walk his grandkids if they went to Maryville Elementary. There are a few parked cars on lawns just past the playground. It's so cramped here that there's hardly any parking spaces, Gus says, but we have the best block parties. I've been to some of them. They're so much fun. Especially the one Barry's family throws. His dad's barbecue is the tastiest in Maryville, probably all of Georgia. And his biscuits, oh my gosh, it's like that's what God above wants Sunday after church. Mr. Johnson's homemade biscuits and gravy. Wasn't he going to open a restaurant? It fell through. Something about the loan that got messed up. That's too bad, I say, admiring the tall, oval-shaped trees lining the street. Barry says that the southern sugar maple, a smaller cousin of the bigger, more famous maples out by Canada and the Northwest. Ours may be smaller, but they're mighty, I say. In the autumn, those trees look like the sun has kissed them and turned their leaves into flames. You know, Gus says, changing the subject, sometimes I think Clarissa is nicer to you because she thinks you're like her. She has trouble making new friends. She likes things to stay the same. Yeah, maybe. Is that why she's talking smack about the redistricting? I've only heard her mention it once, but I have been kind of focused on my dad lately. Well, it's just not her. I heard some kids at the school talking about how bad it's going to be if Parkview kids come to Maryville next year. What's so bad about it? I don't think they care about Parkview. I mean, look at how much our sanitation department cares, Gus says, motioning to the ground. The district doesn't stop to think that it might be worse for the Parkview kids. How so? It's like when I moved from Alabama. I didn't know anybody and I had to get used to the way the school worked. Now imagine if on top of that, nobody wanted me there. That's what it's going to feel like for any kid from Parkview if they have to get transferred. I've gone to Maryville schools my whole life. I don't know what I would have done if I had to suddenly move to a completely new school. I probably wouldn't like it at all. Anyway, since your project will take people to Parkview, maybe it could bring some attention to the neighborhood. Get people to talk about it. Maybe. I like your project because it'll be so fun, I tell him while crossing the street. It'll be fun to shoot, but I hope it shocks people too, he says. It's going to be great, I say. So is yours, he tells me. It's different, off the beaten path, as they say. Not like Sheen. He's doing his on the sporting venues in town, starting with the football field. Why? Because he wants to try out for football next year and he's sucking up to Mr. Richt. We both laugh. Grocery store up ahead, Gus says, but first, Gus pulls out his camera and starts filming. I think we can shoot part of the movie here. It can be like the start of El Labyrintho del Fauno. Gus became obsessed with Guillermo del Toro after seeing Pan's Labyrinth. It's not really a movie for kids, but Gus's tita let him buy it because he only showed her the English cover and she thought it was about Peter Pan. It is not about Finding Neverland. There are monsters and really scary creatures that has eyes on its hands. Okay, so I want us to think about the differences between Maryville and Parkview, okay? And I want you to think, how would you feel as a kid from Parkview being forced to go to Maryville schools next year? Stop and jot your thoughts.